Hello, it's Kenneth Mayo again from the Online Billionaire. So, in the last video, we talked about the game of number strategy and how you can use it to open any academic writing account. If you haven't watched the part 2 video, check it out before proceeding. Seriously, what we discussed in part 2 is life changing and it's only available for a limited amount of time. In this part 3 video, I'm going to share with you a tip that will help you join the top 1% of writers who make legendary money. It's simple. If you want to write over 20 pages a day and make legendary amounts of money, change your keyboard layout. Too simple, you say? Think about it. If you are typing just 5 words a minute, and I'm typing 45 words a minute, the difference in the number of pages we can write per day is night and day. There's no way you can catch me. Let me tell you a quick story about the QWERTY keyboard and why you should abandon it today. So a very long time ago, when typewriters were a thing, there used to be a large variety of keyboard layouts. Each typewriter company had its own keyboard layout design. So during those typewriter days, one limitation guided keyboard layout design. Keys that were frequently placed together had to be placed in separate positions. Reason? Typewriters were manual machines. So if frequently pressed keys were close together, they ended up getting jammed and stuck. And each time someone had to come in and stuck the edge of the Remington typewriters. So there used to be a guy called Eliphas Remington, who was an owner of one of the most popular typewriting companies. So the typewriter used the QWERTY design developed by Christopher Latham Schultz. So the QWERTY keyboard layout did a very good job of keeping frequently pressed keys as far apart as physically possible. As a result, the Remington keyboard was one of the most robust typewriters out there. But that's why when you're typing using the QWERTY keyboard, your fingers are just flying all over the place, because that's how they were designed. So Eliphas Remington was quite the marketer. Through a combination of showmanship and just gutsy salesmanship, he managed to dominate the entire typewriter company. Fast forward to today, typewriters are long gone. In their place, we have slick laptops, personal computers, and smartphones. The keyboard in those PCs, laptops, and smartphones are no longer mechanical. As such, the keyboard keys no longer get jammed or stuck together, yet they continue to use the QWERTY keyboard. Well, continuing to use the QWERTY keyboard layout is just unnecessary and plain dumb. When you use a QWERTY keyboard, two things happen. One, the repetitive and the unnecessary finger movement will lead to wrist and finger injury. Two, the repetitive and the unnecessary finger movement will slows you down. Your typing speed will just be slow. So what keyboard layout should you change over to? There are two new, faster, and more efficient keyboard layouts. The first one is called the Colmar keyboard layout, and the second one is called the Dvorak keyboard layout. If you switch to any of the above two keyboard layouts and teach yourself how to touch type, well, you'll be typing out 20 pages of academic writing work before you know it. I know. There are questions that I haven't answered. For example, how do you switch over your keyboard layout to Colmar or Dvorak? What is touch typing and what tool should you use to learn touch typing? I also haven't discussed other ways to increase your productivity, like how do you stop yourself from watching one more YouTube video? How do you create a workspace that just encourages you to be productive? What habits should you cultivate to become superhuman? And how should you plan and manage your time? In the next video, our last video by the way, I will tell you exactly where to go to find answers to all those pending questions and to learn even more productive tips. If you haven't watched part 1, if you haven't watched part 2 of this life-changing video series, well, what are you waiting for? The videos are only up for a limited time, so go and watch them right now. Watch out for the last part of our 4-part video series. In this last part, I will be pointing you to a resource where you can find all the answers to the unanswered questions raised in part 1, in part 2, and in part 3. Thank you for choosing to be a part of the Online Billionaire community.